God, in my opinion, is really busting the doors wide open.
He's so good. Like, there aren't words that can fathom like how awesome God is. You know, our mind cannot you just can't. He's just so awesome.
Just seeing Jesus at work, praise is always fitting.
He is so gracious, he is so loving. You know, his love overrules everything.
Well, God's always at work, whether we see him at work or not. And the privilege to be a part of that, it still blows my mind that he invites us and chooses to work through us.
God is responsible for everything that we see. All the fruit that we see, he is at work and has been at work. And so people coming on Sunday morning, people giving their lives to Christ, people showing up to be a part of community, people taking the gifts that they've received and serving, and people being compelled to take the gospel to the nations is all a work of his Spirit in our hearts. Sunday mornings have been just a sweet time of coming together as a family, worshiping God, hearing his word taught. As we've come out of COVID, we've not only seen our physical attendance grow past pre-pandemic levels, but our live stream attendance or our live stream viewership has not decreased proportionally. Just this last year, we've had over 900 guests attend on a Sunday morning for the first time, and God has been at work in their hearts, and we've seen over 150 of them give their lives to Christ. You know, we do look at a lot of numbers, but each of those numbers represents a soul that was created in God's image that Christ died for. And so they're tremendously important to him, and therefore they're tremendously important to us.
I'm from New York, you know, the Bronx. I just came out of prison last year, 2021. And that's when it started to really hit me like, yo, like, I just did 5 years. So I literally said, you know, God, you know, like, I'm gonna just go ahead and try it out. You know, let's do it. First day that I did come to try the church out, I met Andy.
First time I met Elvis was here at Providence. Cindy and I were working the welcome desk, and Elvis came up to me, introduced himself, told me a bit of his story, and I said, we need to do lunch.
Believe it or not, you know, people kind of like judge the book by its cover, you know what I'm saying, without really trying to see, you know, what that person might be about. When people look at me, right, they might feel uncomfortable around me because of my tattoos, you know, and I regret them, but if you was to get to know me, you would know that I'm not even the person that you might think I might be. I used to be what I used to be, and now I am who I am. You know, and Andy really made me feel comfortable because he's like, you know, been calling me and just keeping up with me like, yo, hey, how you doing? I just thank him for that, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's really made me really feel at home here, you know, and just, you know, being that good friend, literally.
God can work through horrendous circumstances, that there are people who experience things whose life journeys are entirely different from mine, and God can bring us together and make us part of a family. And it's just been a pleasure to get to know Elvis as the man that he is and the man he's trying to be.
The main thing when I came down here, it wasn't what job are you working or what you're doing, it was to find a church. And we have found Providence, and the Lord has led us to Providence. And we're trying to take everything in that we can.
Just one step after the next, it's just bringing us to Providence, putting us in the life group. I mean, I can't tell you where I can stop being thankful. Loving on the kids, because I'm sorry, I get a lot from it.
With the church and stuff, I am learning to get out of my comfort zone and try to witness to other people, whereas before I wasn't. Coming here has been a new challenge for me, which is an awesome challenge, where what I've been learning through Brian's teaching and through our life group is to just put it out there and see what happens.
So on April 17th, 2022 is when I got baptized. And I told Andy yesterday, like, the things that I've done in the past that is very shameful, things that I'm embarrassed of, and things that I should have never done, you know, has been forgiven, it's washed away. It's not held against me no more, because now I'm reborn, I'm a new baby now, walking in faith with God.
It's a journey, and my prayer for Elvis moving forward is that he stays close to the Lord, that he stays in fellowship, and he stays open and humble to what the Holy Spirit shows him.
This is a journey that's meant to be as a community. It's not supposed to be something you do on your own. So I think that when you join a small group, you're part of this intimate group of people that really care about you, that are really genuine, that really want to get to know Christ with you. They want to smile with you, cry with you. And so we met a lot of really amazing people on the way, and we felt like it was home very quickly.
The things I've seen in the lives of the people in our life group, so many things to praise God for and miracles done. When you walk in on a Tuesday night, you can tell these people just love being together and they love to spend time worshiping together, and I think that's been really special for us to see. To not want to make yourself vulnerable in that initial stage is actually leaving yourself more vulnerable because you're not surrounding yourself with community, and there's a reason that God has commanded that this is the way community in the church should be done.
Our passion at Local Outreach is to look and see what the Lord is doing and then get engaged with the opportunities that He's already working. We were excited to have City Serve again when people would physically come out and serve in the community. And so we had more participants and local outreach touches in the community than we've ever had.
In this past year with the fall of Afghanistan and just seeing all the things go on there, many of the refugees that fled landed in Raleigh.
In February, we received an email from Raleigh Baptist Association that there were 20-some families that had been placed at the extended stay just down the road from Providence. And when we started looking at their needs, God in His sovereignty had already placed an individual that spoke a similar language. And so we were able to host a Monday night service that brought them here, fed them a meal, but also we were able to deliver the gospel message. And that's God's sovereignty.
This is amazing. We see God move the nations. So we can be missionary in our same town we are living. One of the most encouraging things was I saw the love of Christ in our American brothers and sisters. Doesn't matter what language they are speaking, they love Afghans.
One of the sweet things about doing life together with a church family and getting to know one another is you gradually get to know each other's hearts and each other's desires. And so if the right friend at the right time said, this is a need, on Monday night, can you at least come this one time?
You know, we are extremely interested in getting our kids involved in short-term missions. And when the Afghan service came up, our first reaction was, well, the Lord's bringing, you know, the mission field to our doorstep. So why wouldn't we serve in that capacity here when it's in our backyard?
I think one of my most eye-opening moments with the Monday night Afghan ministry happened in the Walmart parking lot. As I was walking in, one of the families was walking out, and almost like in a movie moment, we caught eyes. And at the exact same time, there was a, hey, I know you. And someone who has every reason to feel a bit unseen and anonymous was no longer anonymous in a foreign city on foreign soil. And that is what the love of Jesus does. And so the idea that we were offering a few helps, supper, we were offering the lack of anonymity. We were offering being seen. And that moment really reminded me it's so much more than sometimes we make of it. There's always more facets to service than what got you there in the first place.
A year before, I would have never thought that I would live overseas and plant my life there, but I kind of accidentally stumbled upon the college gathering and heard Phil sharing about mission opportunities. Through Phil and other Providence pastors, they've told me that I could use my degree to go overseas and to reach the unreached people. He even connected me with different Providence teams overseas, and they invited me to come and stay with them for a month in Central Asia and work in the company. And I went and I met so many beautiful people that I worked with, all local people. and got to share my story and where I came from and how the Lord has changed my life and changed my heart. And I think it was really eye-opening to me. A year ago, I'd never heard about unreached people, but then to actually see their faces completely changes everything. That was something that will always stay with me and is part of the reason why I'm going back, because there are so many more people that have never heard of Jesus and what He has done for them. There are so many things that we can give ourselves to, but really I just started to pray, Lord, what is the worthiest pursuit that I can give my life to? And ultimately that's for the gospel, and we can do that here in the United States, and I'm so just encouraged by Providence, encouraging us to reach the point of discomfort for those around us that don't know the Lord. But also we can do that overseas. It's absolutely worth it.
Last fall, Pastor Brian launched a 5-year vision called Reach. What's interesting about this vision is before we were thinking about reaching out and reaching people, we're asking God to reach our own hearts. So next Sunday, we are so excited. I want to encourage you to be here to hear Pastor Brian just lay out what God has done, but what we are praying and anticipating God will do, in hopes that God would continue to stir up our hearts, our affections for the gospel, to continue to be intentional to reach those far from Him, to reach our city and reach the world.